If your social media feed has convinced you that you might have parasites living inside your body, stop for a second, because the real story is very different from what some viral videos are claiming. In 2026, parasite cleanses have become a major wellness trend online, with influencers connecting everyday problems like bloating, tiredness, digestive discomfort, or brain fog to hidden parasites. The proposed solution is usually some combination of herbal supplements, special drinks, restrictive diets, or so-called detox products. But here's the important part. There is no good scientific evidence that these DIY parasite cleanses actually eliminate parasitic infections. And that doesn't mean parasites aren't real. They absolutely are. Certain parasites can cause genuine infections and can require specific medical treatment. The problem is assuming a common symptom automatically means you have one. So how can you tell the difference between a viral internet claim and an actual parasitic infection? That's where the science gets much more interesting. Now, here's where the internet can make things confusing. Bloating, gas, diarrhea, nausea, fatigue, stomach pain, and even weight changes can happen for many different reasons. So seeing one of these symptoms on a checklist doesn't tell you that a parasite is responsible. A real diagnosis usually starts with your medical history, your symptoms, possible exposure, and sometimes travel history. Depending on what infection a doctor suspects, laboratory testing may be used to look for evidence of a specific parasite. For some intestinal infections, that can include testing a stool sample. And the testing isn't just a formality, it matters, because different parasites can require different treatments. That's the part viral cleanse videos often leave out. There isn't one magical tea, powder, herb, or 3-day detox that has been proven to safely eliminate every kind of parasite. If someone actually has a parasitic infection, the goal is to identify what is causing it and use an appropriate treatment. So the smarter question isn't, which cleanse should I buy? It's, do I actually have an infection, and what evidence can confirm it? But there's another reason this trend can be so convincing. A person may try a cleanse, feel different afterward, and naturally assume the cleanse removed something harmful. But feeling different isn't proof that a parasite was present or that a parasite was eliminated. Changes in diet, hydration, caffeine, alcohol, or simply eating less can also change how someone feels. And some cleanse products can cause unwanted effects themselves, especially when they contain multiple herbs, laxative ingredients, or other substances that haven't been proven to treat an infection. That's why natural doesn't automatically mean safe, and a dramatic before and after story on social media isn't the same thing as scientific evidence. Real parasitic infections are diagnosed and treated based on evidence, not on how convincing a viral video sounds. So if you're worried that you might actually have a parasite, the safest move isn't to guess from a TikTok checklist or start taking a random cleanse. Talk with a qualified healthcare professional and explain your symptoms, possible exposures, and travel history. Because when it comes to your health, finding the real cause is far more useful than chasing an internet trend. And there's one more important question. If parasites are real, why does the internet make it sound like almost everyone has them? Part of the answer is that real parasitic infections do exist, but the risk isn't the same for everyone. Exposure depends on where you live or travel, what you eat or drink, contact with contaminated soil or water, and other specific circumstances. That means your actual risk is much more meaningful than a random symptom list on social media. And this is where good health information becomes really important. A viral post can give you a dramatic story in 30 seconds, but medicine has to ask a different question. What evidence supports the claim? If a product claims to flush out parasites, ask whether there are controlled clinical studies showing that it actually treats a diagnosed infection. If the answer is missing, be skeptical. Your body doesn't need a trendy cleanse simply because an algorithm showed you one, and you shouldn't have to be scared into buying a supplement. The biggest lesson here isn't that every parasite video online is completely false. It's that a real medical condition can be surrounded by exaggerated claims, and knowing the difference can protect you from unnecessary treatments, wasted money, and delayed proper care. So, does that mean you should completely ignore the possibility of parasites? No. It means you should treat the claim like any other health claim, with evidence. If you have persistent or concerning symptoms, especially after a relevant exposure or travel history, getting evaluated by a healthcare professional makes far more sense than trying to diagnose yourself from a viral post. And if testing confirms a parasite, there are established treatments for many parasitic infections. The treatment depends on the specific organism and the individual situation, which is exactly why a one-size-fits-all cleanse doesn't make medical sense. The internet can tell you that a parasite cleanse is trending. It cannot tell you whether you personally have a parasitic infection. That's the difference between a wellness trend and a medical diagnosis. So the next time your feed tells you that one mysterious symptom means you need a detox, don't panic. Pause, check the evidence, and ask what actually proves the claim. Your health deserves more than an algorithm's guess. And that's the real lesson behind the parasite cleanse trend. Parasites are real, but a viral symptom checklist isn't a diagnosis, and a trendy cleanse isn't a proven cure. Good health information should make you more informed, not more afraid. Before taking a supplement or starting an extreme cleanse, look for reliable medical evidence and talk with a qualified healthcare professional if you're genuinely concerned about an infection. So, have you ever seen a parasite cleanse video on your feed? And did you believe it at first? Tell me what you think in the comments. If you found this explanation useful, like, share, and subscribe for more science-backed health facts, psychology, myths, and fascinating stories explained in simple everyday English. Now, here's where the internet can make things confusing. Bloating, gas, diarrhea, nausea, fatigue, stomach pain, and even weight changes can happen for many different reasons. So seeing one of these symptoms on a checklist doesn't tell you that a parasite is responsible. A real diagnosis usually starts with your medical history, your symptoms, possible exposure,